All right, you've selected that Big Daddy Dadaluma gets to do 0 damage. Since he can't respond to, X-Burst can't be responded to, Daddy doesn't get to respond with his abilities and doesn't get to deal any damage. In this situation, though, that's not quite accurate. Dadaluma isn't responding to an X-Burst. Keep in mind, responding has a very specific meaning here, meaning that when an X-Burst goes off, you cannot do something with an ability, a summon, or whatever that would interfere with the execution of that X-Burst. If there was an X-Burst in the game that said, choose an active forward and do X, you cannot interfere with that X-Burst to try and dull your forward ahead of time, making them an ineligible target. That's responding to an X-Burst, trying to interfere with its completion. What we're talking about here, in the case of Dadaluma and other cards, again, concepts, take this to other cards, is an ability being triggered by an X-Burst, not a response to the X-Burst. So in this case, the X-Burst does choose Dadaluma, which would trigger his ability, and Dadaluma does take damage, which would trigger his ability again. Now, they won't resolve until after the X-Burst is fully executed and complete. They kind of go in their own side stack right next to the X-Burst, waiting for that damn X-Burst to be done. And once it's done, hey, some abilities were triggered by an X-Burst. These need to go off now. And I know some of you are probably looking at me going, Magic Man, then why the hell can Alua be nuked by a 7-drop Odin? Well, keep in mind what's happening here. With Dadaluma, we're talking about the X-Burst triggering an ability that happens. With Alua, we're talking about trying to respond to the X-Burst itself. Alua's very specific. The first time she is chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities, cancel its effect. It's trying to respond to the act of being chosen. An X-Burst chooses her. She's trying to respond to the act of being chosen and cancel it out. But an X-Burst can't be responded to in that way. Just the same way, they can't choose your forward with an X-Burst, and you physically, as the player, respond with a Famfrit to take out that same forward and at least have your opponent drop a forward as well. You can't do that. Alua can't interfere with the X-Burst and try and cancel its effect. That's different. Her ability does get attempted to trigger, but doesn't go anywhere because it's hitting a stack that it's not allowed to interfere with. Dadaluma, Delita, other cards are reacting, having abilities triggered by the conclusion of an X-Burst. It's very different from trying to interfere or respond to the X-Burst. If you want to go back and check out the other answers to the Big Daddy question, click here. If you'd rather just go to number 3, question number 3, click here.